I can. I need you right now. I need you right now.
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is April 15th, 2022, and Bitcoin is looking great for continuation to the upside, okay? As I said in yesterday's video, this is the beginning of the move to 100K. Okay, this is what the charts are telling me. This is what my analysis shows on many time frames. Okay, so this is how I'm going to trade the markets. Not only that, in today's video, I'm going to tell you why. The next big resistance for Bitcoin is not 48K. It's actually 50 to 52K. If that interests you, then watch until the very end. In addition, as per usual, I'm going to also discuss our major or favorite altcoins, Revain, Kadena, and Verasity. So watch until the very end for all of that. All right, we're on the daily chart and we're looking at Bitcoin hold support beautifully. All right, we have Bitcoin coming in to this demand zone where we've previously found support right here, and we're also finding support here, okay? So this is not surprising to us, okay? Also, we look at the BPVR, the volume indicator, horizontal volume indicator, showing you where most of the buying and selling is done at every price point, and we see that there's quite a bit of support right here, okay? And we're taking advantage of all of that. So we're not surprised that we're not breaking down from here, that we're gathering buying orders from here, okay? And we're using this as a launch pad to the move up. Now, why 50K? Why not 48K? Dean, you told us 48K before. I did. I know I did. But I keep looking at the charts, and sometimes I get new insights. And so this is what I'm sharing with you. I would not set my sell orders for 48K. I would not expect a major rejection at 48K, although we had one in the past, okay? Although there's a big spike on the VPVR around 48K, all right? I think that level is over and done with. Why? Because I've got this trend line showing me otherwise, okay? What's a trend line? A trend line is essentially any trend that uses 2 previous points of data, okay? You have more than 2 points of data, it's even stronger, okay? And trend lines that are composed or are derived on large time frames are even that much more reliable, okay? So we're on the daily time frame, and we have 1 touch point, 2 touch points, 3 touch points, okay? This trend line is quite reliable. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to find resistance, when it hits this trend line. So I've got an alarm, as you can see right here, I've got an alarm on this trend line, not on 48K. This is where I expect us to reject, okay? So even if you had put this trend line in before with only 2 touch points, you would have perfectly caught the resistance of 48K. Do you see? So by that same logic, I'm saying that 48K is not the next big resistance, it's 50K, and that is actually confluent with this right here range, or this structure high, okay? This structure that you see right here, where you have you have big resistance here, big resistance here. I'm anticipating, why do I say 50 to 52K? Because I don't know when this trend line will hit. It can hit here, it can hit here, right? So all I'm saying is that keep an eye out for this trend line. When this trend line is hit, I'm expecting a rejection, to reject off of this trend line, okay? To slightly consolidate before a move to the upside. And actually, what I'm anticipating is that 48K serve as the support for this consolidation right here. So 48K is going to be flipped into support. It was previous resistance flipped into new support, right? RS flip, that's classic. So this is what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin chart. If you guys get value from this kind of analysis, please like the video, share the video with others interested in Bitcoin technical analysis, Elliott wave theory, crypto, And subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. We'd love to have you. Daily Bitcoin updates, occasional altcoin updates, and weekly live streams every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, let's get on with it. Now let's go into the smaller time frames and look at the price action. And I know I said yesterday, I'm not that concerned with what Bitcoin's doing intraday so much because look, I'm plotting to make life-changing money, right? I'm looking at Bitcoin making 50% moves, 30% moves, big moves. What's this move to this trend line? This move to this trend line is in Bitcoin, it's a 23% move, perhaps, And so in an altcoin, it could be a 50, 70, 100% move. Yeah. So this is what I'm thinking in terms of I'm not trading the smaller time frames as much. And I don't think you should either, right? Like those are peanuts. You want to do it on leverage, that's great. But you get stopped out, you miss most of the move. Even if Bitcoin does 25%, let's say you get stopped out of your move, you make one little mistake, you miss this opportunity. This is an opportunity, my friends. Take advantage of it. Try and get the lion's share of these moves, okay? So this is all I'm saying. Be generous with your stops. Not financial advice. Do whatever you want, but just try and get the most of these moves, all right? So let's go on the smaller time frames, all right? And yesterday, I had a few hecklers on the channel jeer about this move to the downside, okay? We got a rejection from 41.4 and we had a 4% move to downside. And I was saying, this is the beginning of a 100K move of Bitcoin's move to 100K. And people were saying, oh, this is clownery. This is ridiculous. How could you be saying that? Like, guys, focus on what actually matters. Who cares about a 4% intraday move when the larger analysis is showing extreme bullishness, right? You have extreme bullishness on the larger time frames. You go in the smaller time frames and you're repeatedly seeing spikes in volume to the upside, right? We just got one. But more importantly, I want to draw your attention to the strong bullish divergence that you're getting on these small time frames. I mean, this is very, very telling for larger moves, okay? Once again, bullish divergence. You have a move from this low to that low that looks like this, okay? This is kind of the move on price action, right? In the price action. And then in the stochastic RSI, that moves looks like this. So, I mean, that just shows you extreme bullishness on the hourly time frame. Yeah, you can do this and repeat this exercise on multiple time frames and you will see extreme bullishness in Bitcoin as well as other assets, right? So it's not a really good idea to start shorting and thinking that this is going to break down. It just belies all fundamental tenets of charting, technical analysis, whatever style you choose to adopt, right? You have rounded bottoms left and right. You have what I call pitchfork bottoms, right? Where you're basically forming a base for reversal left and right. Why would you short this, my friends? Come on, guys. Like, forget about being right. Try being rich, right? Let's be rich rather than right. I'm not saying the price is going to go up forever. I'm not saying we're going to not get any retraces. Nothing goes up in a straight line. But zoom out and look at what's going on, right? Are you going to kick yourself for buying Bitcoin or whatever asset when Bitcoin's at 40K rather than 39K when it's at 100K? No, you're not going to give a damn. That's the whole point. I'm telling you, I know why you're thinking in small increments because we all have been. We've all been in a sideways market in trading ranges, right? Kind of trying to eke out profits left and right wherever we could find them. Those days are over, right? The market's shifting into another trend, another cycle, another sort of season, if you will. You got to shift with it. Recognize it and shift with it. Okay, not financial advice. Do what you want, but this is what I'm seeing on the charts. All right. Now, this is what I wanted to show you on the small time frames. Now let's look at our one last thing. All right. What are rich people doing? Rich people typically trade large positions on Bitfinex. Okay, Bitfinex is well known well regarded as a whales exchange. I don't know anybody, trading, small sums on Bitfinex. It's not that type of exchange. It favors large accounts. Okay, and so this is the Bitfinex USD longs. All right, BTC USD longs. It's showing you the trend of long positions. Okay, so this is a chart, just like any chart, you can read it kind of like an asset, but this is on-chain data essentially. Okay, this helps you get an edge, right? Anything can help with an edge. You just have to know how to use it. Now, we're seeing ever since April 9th, these Bitfinex whales, these Bitfinex traders have been going long, right? They've been going long. Yeah, even since yesterday. Yesterday, 4% move, they didn't care. They've been going long. Why would they do that? Understand what's going on here, my friends, right? These people don't just go long, they also go short. They were short since March 19th all the way until April 9th, right? From April 9th onwards, they've been long, and they're probably going to go long up until Bitcoin gets or up until they reach this point, right? Whenever this is, right? And again, this is not a chart of any asset. This is just human behavior, but human behavior, much like, the buying and selling of assets, the trading of assets, follows these patterns, these chart patterns that we look at every day in, the assets that we trade. So we're essentially forming a head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders, right? So I'm anticipating some resistance right here in the longs. So I've got an alarm there telling me, letting me know when longs are going to start dropping out. Do you see how I'm using this? So once longs start dropping out, it's not going to necessarily be that moment where Bitcoin stops going up. No, I'm going to start thinking, okay, we're nearing some resistance because the crowd of traders, right, starting to take out their longs, starting maybe to go short or hedge their positions and not take any trades. So this is what I'm looking for, and this is why I'm saying, the consensus is, right, and I know a lot of times people say, well, the crowd is typically wrong. Yes and no. There's an educated and an uneducated crowd, okay, and you can prove this to yourself. The crowd is typically right, not at the point of reversal, at the tops and the bottoms, but in the middle of the move. The move has already started. The crowd is more than likely correct, okay? So going short here doesn't look like a good idea, however you slice it, just looking at the charts or looking at the on-chain data. All right, now let's go look at our favorite altcoins. All right, Revain, new targets for Revain. So much like Bitcoin, I'm seeing resistance in this asset is going to be at this upper trend line. Okay, so I've got a trend line. It's probably going to be, let's see, let me draw it again more accurately. I think this trend line, using these two data points, right, these 2 points, is going to serve as resistance for the price once it hits. Okay, and then once it hits, I think we're going to bounce off a little bit, find support quickly and make some sort of cup and handle pattern. Okay, and so my target after that brief resistance, that brief kind of rejection, is going to be somewhere up here. All right, somewhere up here. And I actually think that it's very likely that we find resistance, the major resistance, because I don't think that hitting the top of that descending wedges resistance is going to be major resistance. I think it's going to be some slight resistance, consolidation, followed by a breakout. But that breakout is going to probably, most likely, lead to this resistance, which is going to be major resistance at around a penny. Okay, I'm seeing major support here. We're under it, so it's going to be major resistance right here and right here. So this is what I'm seeing on the charts, right? Depending on when this happens, right, we move this trend line or this this target, right? So if it happens here, if it happens sooner than later, this trend line is going to basically be drawn at the point of breakout. So that's what I'm seeing on Revain. My next major resistance is not going to be within the descending wedge. It's going to be outside of it, around a penny. Okay. Next, Kadena. Same thing with Kadena. I'm seeing Kadena find some slight resistance at the top of this symmetrical triangle around $8.50. But that's just, let's see. Well, that's a significant move, a 50% move. Maybe we get some decent resistance there, actually, because that's 50%, and in that time, Bitcoin will have done 25%, whereas Revain at the top of its resistance will have only traveled 22%. So I'm seeing Revain have time. In the time that Bitcoin takes to travel 25%, Revain will probably have traveled much more than 22%. This is why I'm not seeing this top as being strong resistance. Does that make sense? Rather, in Kadena, that move to the top resistance of this symmetrical triangle is 50%. So that may likely coincide with Bitcoin finding its resistance and then Kadena also cooling off. Do you see the logic? All right. In Verasity, but then after you leave this triangle, my major resistance for Kadena is simply the target of this. I did that on log probably, but it's the target of this symmetrical triangle, which is going to be depending on when it breaks out, but around here somewhere. Okay, don't do that on log. See, I did it on log and my target was completely overshot. So around $15, 15 cents, something like that. And Verasity, and last but not least, once again, I did that on log, probably did that from the bed this morning. I'm looking at a target being the top of this symmetrical triangle, okay, and that would represent around a 40% move, okay, so I think in the time it takes Bitcoin to travel 25% to the upside, Veracity will travel its 40%, find some major resistance at the top of this resistance, consolidate, and then give us our next leg. And the next leg after that, so the top of this triangle, by the way, depending on when it hits, is about 3 cents, around thereabouts, okay? And then from there, the target is simply the length of this triangle, okay, from top to bottom. From the site of breakout, we don't know where that is yet, but it's likely going to be the next major resistance at around 5 cents, okay? So that's what I'm seeing on Veracity. Those are my updated targets, and those are why I've updated the targets to what they are, all right? If you found value in that, once again, please like the video, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the bell notification for daily Bitcoin updates of this kind, as well as occasional altcoin updates when we're in altcoin season and we're going to the moon. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow.